Hello and welcome back. So we are sat on our 4-rail trunk line and I'm looking at this patch of oil here, this big patch of crude, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we could pull that in and fire up our refineries? Here we are. There's our cracking and there's the refineries. Right, so I'd love to get them going. I kind of want resources to be brought into this big east-west train line. I don't really want to be pulling resources in on the perimeter wall line. I want to leave that free. At some point in the future, I may end up tearing down this wall and moving it out. As and when I do that, obviously I don't want to have the artifact of the old rail line giving me trouble. So that's an 18k patch. That's a 21k patch. The 21k one is lined up with red circuits and blue circuits. Well, if we imagine there's going to be replicates of this module, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 replicates of red would knock into it. Not sure. This one's not really any good. It's only 7k. That's pathetic. 1k. So we could go for this one down here. That's 18k. And it's by a 10 million coal, which might also be useful to bring in. Or we can take a rail in up here. Yeah, so the problem with this one is we might bump into these factories expanding in the future. This is copper smelting. We're almost certainly going to run over this 15 million patch. These ones are going to be built over. Are there any other big oil patches? A couple of dots there. I'm tempted to put in... Ooh, is that just a random? Let's shoot that and see. So there is a mod, I think, which prints all your resource patches, tells you how big they are and how long it's good. Oh, there's a 15 there I've marked before. $15. 4k, 8k. So that's nearly 19. I think I'll go for this one. Okay, so we need to bring a line down there. And are there any other resources I'm going to want from? Because this is most likely going to become my downward rail for harvesting these resources as well. So I think what I'm going to do, if we back up a bit so that we can see on the map where I am, I'd like to minimize the amount of land filling we end up doing. Okay, so I could bring a line down here. That would miss most of the water. It would give us access to some of these resources. And we would get access to this. So I think, is that the line? There's some water there. I'm not going to be able to miss all the water, it looks like. Okay. So if we can center on these signals, let's get our book of rails. Okay, so it's a 4 to 2 we want. It would go there. And this one, I would go there. Or here. Let's go over this way and check what's over here, because Okay, so we could go here, which would make my midline here. Okay, let's have a look. So if we were on this line and we went down, oh, that threads the needle quite nicely. All right, we'll go with that. Okay. So the first thing, I'm actually all right with, yeah. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to rip up all of this track from there to there. And I'm going to put this down. Okay, and we are missing a couple of signals here. I'll put them back in a moment. These intersections were designed for slightly different shaped trains to the ones we're going to be using, so we'll see if they actually work. Great. I need more standard signals. Wonderful. Then when I tore this up, I took out some signals that were necessary, I think. Let's put those back. There we are. Okay. So let's head down here. This is where the computer screen and the rails interact slightly annoyingly. Great, we managed to miss that first bit. I seem to have a pocket full of modules. I certainly don't need the prop mods. Okay, down we go. Okay. I'm just looking at the mini map. I think we're okay for now. Right, and then there's a little copper patch. Below the copper patch, we need to turn to the east. And I could put in a junction with the rail which is below us. Let's just jump out and have a look. Okay, so this is the boundary wall that takes us off to the perimeter. I could join onto that, but I'm not going to for now. What I am going to do is put in a T here. Great. I'm so glad I'm doing this with bots. Building rail is incredibly painful before you have robots. Okay, there's a patch of coal here we may also want to harvest. But the important thing is this oil. Okay, so I'm going to be using 282 trains, except they're 2 pointing forwards, 8, and then 2 also pointing forwards. So we need plenty of room here. Let's jump out, put down some oil wells to start with. Do we have them here? We have 20. That's probably not going to be sufficient. Let's reserve some slots for pumps. So I want this to be a pump. There we are. Okay, so that would be 80 of them. There's a loop. This is now north, so this train will come back. If I send it off to based outposting, it will pick up some more of those pumps for me, pump jacks. And the pump jacks, of course, have gone somewhere useful into my inventory. There they are. So how many do we have here? If you hold down Shift and just spam the mouse around, it can only place them where the pumps are. It's a nice way to just get them down. Okay, so we're already out. Clear some of this. I think it's time to change into the big boy suit. Okay, so I need another 6 or 7. Oh, there's some down here as well. Are there any? No, there's none in the coal patch. Okay, so how are we going to arrange this? I need a stacker, I think. And it may as well be shared among the oil and the coal. Then I need a pickup for the oil. So I think if the stacker went below, it could come out this way. Do I have a diagonal stacker on the map? And of course the answer is yes, because I have these stackers here. Okay, so let's grab that and get rid of this. Off we go. Right, and try and put that one back in. Right. So I want a stacker that does something like that. That of course goes straight through all the water. Great. Well, I could put it there. If I put it back one more, how does that suit us? That would be actually on the junction, which is probably a bad choice. So I think there is as good a place as any. Okay, then this will need to be a choice. Okay, then we'd be bringing in 2 trains. All right, so this is where I want some landfill. Yeah, we are going to landfill all this. I don't know exactly how much of this we need, but I know that we'll need some of it, so we may as well landfill all of it. Okay, so let's call in the landfill trains. There we go. In the meantime, I can pick up more rail and start planning this all out. Right, so we're going to end up with potentially 2 different train stations here. One for the oil and one for... Let's hold down shift to see if that plan's better. Okay. So that can be one of the stations. The other station is going to come out further and is going to be for the coal, if we ever need the coal. So I'm going to leave that for now, but the point is we'll be sticking in something else along here. This feels like a long way away from... Yeah, I want this to come in as close as possible, I think. And then I can take the second one out the far side. Okay, if I landfill all this, I can shift that whole area up. So, what do I not need? I don't need chemical plants. What else do I not need? Don't need all these pumps. Don't need all these storage tanks. Certainly don't need the coal or the wood or the stone. That'll do for now. Oh, got rather a lot of drone ports as well. Okay. Good, that's a good start. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is take one train station in front of coal and then put one train station down behind coal. Okay, we've got a very small amount of landfill left to do, then I can send the landfill trains back off. It's slightly annoying having 2 landfill trains. I'm wondering if I should set them to different destination stations, landfill 1 and 2, so I can call in just one of them as needed. But it's too much hassle at the moment. There we go. Alright, so put the rest of that back. Don't need it. Delete that. Oh, that train's hit something at some point and not been repaired. Probably hit me, to be honest. Okay, so this is all going to move forward 1. So if it moves forward... Let's take a blueprint of it, because I'm not quite sure how this is going to line up. So we have that, basically. And instead of being there, we would move it to there. Now the problem with that is it's the wrong... That comes in the middle. If I moved it forward to there, it travels over those. Right, so what if I move it forward 1 big pole? That's not too bad. Or I can move it forward to the... to there and just bring it around the back. But then there's no obvious way to get the coal out. Okay, well, let's put down the rest of these. So I think that's it for down there. Okay, there we are. On the other hand, I should just give up. I could just give up on this patch of coal. It is a 10 million patch of coal. Let's have a quick look, see how desperate I am. There's not a lot in that patch. And over here, I might be pretty starved for coal. Yeah, I'm not sure. That may be sort of 4 and a 2. 5. 21 there. But that's going to get built over, I would expect. Right. Well, I think I'm going to move this forward by 1. Great, thank you. Should have seen that coming, really. Okay, let's put that back. Okay, and we had a blueprint here. So that could go there. Right, it's complaining there's a signal in the way. That's the signal we just put down to stop crashes. Okay, so let's send that home and then send it to north straight away, so that will get out the station and come back. That can go to base. That one can follow. Right, now I can pull up this signal. And where's my blueprint gone? Yes, I can put my blueprint back down. Great. Okay. So then we bring it up here. Take this out of the way. That's great, and then eventually we'll bring it back that way. This can go, put this on manual. Right, back that up a bit. I need a ladder that has the amount of train station I'm going to need. Okay, so I need that one. That one can go. Let's go find a train station. Okay, here's one. So from there to there, I don't need the kink. I don't need the inserters. Okay, so this is what the train station is going to look like. And I want to center roughly the... Oh, just a moment, sorry about that. That was my phone telling me to collect kids, but my better half is collecting them today, so not a problem. Okay, so that looks roughly centered, doesn't it? I think that'll be all right. Okay, so we can trim this back. I find it very annoying that you can't easily delete the straight rail without accidentally deleting the curved rail. Okay, then we are going to do that, I guess. Here we go. So then I can tear this stretch up. Come on. That's there. So then the idea would be that we would have an arrangement something like this on each one. So let's take a blueprint for that. So that's 8 of those. That's good. Then I'm not sure if these are going to load evenly or not. So I'm going to use the load balancing trick. Is that the right one? Let's go that one. Okay, that's the right way around. So let's put this down. I'll need to get some pipes in a second. Right, so let's pick up some pipes from in here. And now, because these are load balanced, we just need to feed in these into these. And we don't need to do anything particularly clever. So let's count how many oil wells we have. We have 30. And 8 into 30 is about 4. So about 4 pumps per one of these. So the two end ones can have 3, the rest can have 4. Depending upon how things line up. All right, so these 3 can go into a single. Okay, and that would, so we're looking at okay, I think that's right, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3 bits of straight pipe. those are done. They go into here. Okay, so the next one we need to ideally get 4 pumps into. Okay. That's not very good. Okay, that's convenient. So those two join. Okay, and then I don't actually know what the cost benefit is of using undergrounds. Anyway, that's 4 pumps into there. Let's try and get 4 into this one. This may be more tricky. So these 3 are obvious candidates. Okay, this one's a bit of a pain. Well, let's do the easy bits first. Right, so that can be there. That to there. Well, that's ugly, but functional. Okay. Okay, so that's our next 4. Brilliant. And then things start to get a bit cramped. Okay, so I think we can make a little cluster here. Right, not a lot of choice about this one. Okay, so that's 2 of them. I kind of... Okay. Can we pull a line out further? We can do, but then this isn't really joined onto anything. Okay, maybe the thing to do is to take this up. Now, this is a nice cluster of 4. I don't... Okay, what else do we have? Right, we have these top 3, so they are an obvious candidate to go into this one. Don't need that, so we have yep. So there, there, there. That's it. So that's the 3 to the top. Then this needs 4. There's a cluster of 4 there, so let's take those. Okay, so how do I get these 4 in there? Maybe we do something a bit sneaky like that. Right, let's get a straight pipe. So we could do that and that. Yeah, that's 4. Okay, so we have this final 2 groups to sort out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that? We have 9 pumps. Okay, so this is what's happened. There's so this top one has 3 on it. We could send a 4th to it. Let's take this one because I think that one's going to be a pain. Okay, now double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, so now we have 8 left, and it's about how we join them up. So I've got a cluster of 3 here, so 3 plus 1, and it's how we get the plus 1. We could do a plus 1 there, couldn't we? Okay, so that's now a cluster of 4. We just need to take these 4 now. Let's start by bringing a line in. That happens to line up perfectly, which is a shame, and it doesn't reach far enough to skip under. Okay, it does if we do that. Pull that back one. Don't have a lot of choice over this. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, and I have speed modules, so I'm going to speed module all of these. This may be sufficient without beaconing them. I'm hoping so, because this is going to be a pain to beacon. Okay, so that's all done. So now we need to power this thing up. The easiest way to power these sorts of sites up is with substations. Do I have any in my train? Nope, I don't think I do. Let's double check here. No, no substations. So we'll do the whole thing with, I have 25 in my pocket, that's fine. So there. Yep. Can I go? That's fine. Okay, so let's see how much of this we can catch. I need to catch that top one. There we are. There. Then I'm going to substation this. There we are. Right, so let's call this Northwest Oil 1. And we can now power this up, I believe. No, apparently not. Right, let's pull all this up and redo the subs. There we are. And put that there. So this is filling up. Oh, it's almost full already. Yeah, we have absolutely no issue here with filling. Okay, so this is going to be able to fill the crude trains almost instantly. There we are, that's already backed up. All right, we don't have power to this one machine here. Can I move this by one? Right, seems like I can have one or the other. Okay, let's look at the map with the, oh, so we don't have a join this way. There we are. Okay, so this is going to fill up our trains very, very quickly with crude. Why are these still pumping? They must be building up pressure somewhere. They're still filling this. This tank. What's wrong with this tank? There must be something wrong here. Oh, I'm missing a bit of important circuitry. The one that actually does the balance calculation. Okay, so let's head over to where we have one of these. Okay, so it's this A to X thing that's important. So let's take a blueprint of that. Okay, and this is crude. Okay, so this is going to have a red wire coming out of it to tell these things what they're we need some wires. Okay. Well, we need a red input to here to tell it what X is. So let's see if this reaches. This is one of those build it once type things. Great, so now these all have an X input. Then we need to measure the total amount of oil in the tanks. And push that into the input here. Okay. Then of course this doesn't line up. Let's put one below. There we are. Okay, so now this should be load balancing correctly. So if I'm not going to do it, but if I was to rip these up, we'll have 8 tanks being filled. And then if there is one tank which is overly full, so if there's a tank which is more than, I think, 10% full than the average, it starts to empty itself. And if there's one tank, and then any other tank will start trying to fill from that. So if 7 out of 8 of these have filled and one is still substantially empty, it would be below the average by more than 10%. And it would start acquiring oil from all the others. So that's how it works. So that's all done. So I think what we should do now is head back to the main base and see if we can set up a train and see if it delivers crude oil. If it does, I'm calling that an episode, and next time we will do something similar, but for water. I do love these 4-way intersections. They're very pretty. At one point there was a worm hiding up there in that shrubbery, and every time I drove past it, my personal defense lasers would go pew pew pew. I kept thinking it was lasers shooting across the wall, but then I went out there on foot, found the thing and killed it. Ah, happy days. So, I think we have all the materials in here. I'm going to grab 4 trains. I have 5 trains on my quick bar, and then I need 8 fluid wagons, so I'll grab 10. 2 stacks. Come on. Okay, so I need trains. I need 2 stacks of that. I really don't need all this rail. I have too much of it. Let's go here. Can I? No, that's already full. Let's go down here. I don't want to request 1K. I want to put a lot of it back. There we are. Okay. And then if I go back to here, I need some fluid wagons. Okay. Go away. Grief. Okay, where's the shed? I should probably have set up a buffer chest by the shed, which has the trains in, but never mind. So 2 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. 2 of those. Awesome. Let's jump into this because I want to see how it works. So this is going to go to Northwest Oil 1 until inventory full. Then it's going to go to refinery crude until inventory empty. let's give that a go. I saw some red lights flashing on the coal power station there. That will be where I accidentally dumped some unburnable medium power poles in, and they've started gumming up the end of the boiler arrays. So I will go down there manually in a minute and pick them up, which should get everything going again. I do like this configuration of train. It's nicely balanced. It means your train stations don't overflow at one end or the other. Okay, so this should be the first and the last time this train ever goes on this perimeter wall rail. And down we go. In we come. And all the pumps have sprung into life. We are full already. And if we just go back to look, pumps are working, but it's full. Okay, so I need to put down a radar there. I'll set that up in a minute. I think I have about a minute and a half to make this trip, this round trip, to keep the refinery going. So we'll probably need more than one train. We'll probably need a pair of trains. Okay, in we go. So we unload, and by the magic of Searcher, wow, that turned on and then turned itself off. All right, we'll have to have a look at why that was in a minute. So I need to put down a radar. So I need to remember that when we stop at the oil wells. And down we go. Cool, so now I have coverage. Okay, so let's jump out. I see what I did wrong. Okay, so I had set the condition for whether this was active based upon whether these tanks are empty. I should have set it based upon if these tanks are empty. Okay, so let's fix that. So I want to be measuring how much is in these. Okay, then that has inadvertently cross-wired the measurement of those, but I can fix that by deleting that. Okay, so this should be measuring now these tanks. This should be separately measuring the outer tanks. Okay, so now this will work until the inner tanks are empty rather than the outer tanks. We are refining. And if we run over here, are we producing any petroleum? No, because we have no water. Okay, so the next step is set up a water train. And let's have a look. Where's a good place for that? So I want it to be out of the way. I'm going to end up landfilling a train station right across the water. It's going to look a little bit like this, not very much like this. So let's go back and get our ruler. I'm a bit worried I'm going to end up bunching everything up in the same corner, which is not really what I want to do. I'd like to spread things around so that the rail isn't overloaded. There's plenty of water here, so I might do that down there. Anyway, we have oil coming in. That's really what I wanted to achieve this time. So I'm calling this, and next episode we will bring in water, and then we'll see if some refining happens. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you're still enjoying. I know I am. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.